and I'll never back down. In the middle of the ring is where I lay the smack down. Against all odds, I will always prevail. So when you step to me, it's like hell in a cell.
Yo, alright guys, Delzinski here. Welcome to another We Talk. Yes, it's been a while since I've said that. And as per usual, I'm joined by my partner in crime, Smack Talks. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing well, man. It's been a long time since we've done one of these. Just me and you.
I know. The last time we did a We Talk was the We Talk WrestleMania Aftermath special. I think that sounds the best way to sum it up.
That sums it up pretty well.
So it has been a long time since we've done a We Talk, and there is so much to talk about. And you know what? Before we get into some kind of depressing business to kick things off, because there has been some breaking news today which isn't very good, and plus we've had the releases as well. But I have to say, since WrestleMania, I have been very upbeat with the WWE's product. I think it's getting better.
It's all Shane McMahon.
Is it all Shane McMahon? You can see Steph's little twinkle in her eye for her. That was going to sound weird for her brother.
that does sound a little bit weird, but a weird way to start We Talk. But yeah, this is all Shane. This is Shane's come in. He's completely changed the company. It's not like someone's writing this. It's all Shane.
But he did win that match at WrestleMania, didn't he? We saw it.
He did, yeah. He come through and obviously won the match, and that's why he's now, well, not so much in charge, but co-in charge of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I just think that, in all seriousness, I just think that it has got a lot better. I feel that WrestleMania 32, which me and you went to, we had a fantastic time. Massive thanks to 2K for taking us out there, 2K UK, and it was absolutely amazing to be there. And although the night ended with a Roman Reigns victory, which many people did not like, it was the need to happen, and it has happened. And everything's been able to build around that, particularly in the main event picture. And I feel that that's why we've got this product now with the technical classing of the new era. But I feel that if they hadn't done that with Reigns, we'd still be muddling over what to do with Reigns. Whereas now, we just know that Reigns is the Samoan badass, and that he don't take shit from anybody. And he's
You sound like a Roman Reigns fan, yeah.
He's the guy. I like it. I'm not...
Do you really think he's the guy?
He's not really the guy, but the
guy that gets booed out of the building.
Well, this week on Raw, just to quickly mention before we talk about what we were going to start off We Talk with, he was getting the Cena chant kind of going with the little kids chanting Roman Reigns.
Well, they're so bored they were chanting for Cena. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, they were chanting Roman Reigns. They were doing that chant. So
they've done that for months. Have you not been listening?
Not really. That's been near, but the boos usually kind of patter that bit out, but not this week on Raw. It was quite interesting. You had the manly man chanting for AJ Styles, and then you had the little kids with the Roman Reigns.
Was it the manly man? Was that
the manly man chants for AJ Styles?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
exactly. That's what we do. We chant for AJ Styles, and also as well, if you like a lot of chocolate on your biscuit, then you have to join the club. And do you see what I did there?
I don't know what you did there. I'm trying to process that in your mind.
You must have had a club before.
I've had a club before, yes.
And you've never seen the advert where he says, if you like a lot of chocolate on your biscuit, join our club?
Yes, I get where you're going with that. It just all sounded a bit...
Brilliant.
A bit weird. Yes.
Brilliant. Anyway, we're going to talk about that, the main event picture and the biscuit and the club a little bit later, but we have to touch on the breaking news which came out. I don't know when we're going to upload this, to be honest, so I'm just going to say today, so everyone can assume that this was when it was recorded. But Adam Rose pretty much has put the final nail in his own coffin in terms of his release, I think, with today him being arrested. You kind of understand the situation a little bit better than I do, I think, because you explained it to me, because I was kind of confused by what the allegations were.
Well, the Rosebud Party is well and truly being pooped at this point.
you could definitely say that.
Well, to try and sum it up, I don't have a list of the charges. One of them was battery. Another one was something to do with a witness. and stopping them from contacting the police or something in regards to that, which is like felony. And basically what happened was, we obviously know that he's been suspended from WWE for wellness policy violation. And for whatever reason, maybe it's that, maybe it's something else, he was in an argument with his wife, and it got quite heated, and he grabbed her by the face, and she basically went to then report this to the police, called 911, and he grabbed the phone off her. And by grabbing the phone off her, that is a felony, and it stops that witness then reporting an incident. So that is what he's now been arrested for, and I don't believe he's been given bail, so he's actually in jail at this point.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good for Adam Rose, and I think me and you know the writings on the wall. That this if WWE were thinking about releasing him, it's definitely confirmed that he will be gone. He's been suspended indefinitely now, hasn't he? I think that's been confirmed by the WWE as well.
Yeah, they've updated the website, and basically it says they take a zero tolerance on this kind of thing. Any kind of sort of physical interactions in regards to relationships and things like that, then that's the reason he's been suspended. And on top of everything else, I think seeing so many releases last week, if it wasn't already on the wall, I think it most definitely is now.
Yeah, we only know what's been fed out through the media outlets at the moment, so we don't really know what went on behind the scenes, why he's done what he's done, why that argument occurred. We still don't really understand why he was suspended if he had a doctor's note. And the trouble is now, in the way that I think, is that everyone will forget about the doctor's note. They'll just remember that Adam Rose was, fired from the WWE for, getting sent to prison. So, that's really unfortunate that his career's had to probably end on that note. And I think when you look back at his career, wasn't he one of the guys that had one of those, am I right in saying, was it like an E60 or whatever it was, where they went through the lives of people on NXT? I think he had one about him, didn't he, at one point?
I don't know if it was like focused around him, but it was E60 behind the curtain.
That's
wow.
So
basically,
my memory's good.
Yeah, your memory's great. Mine is even better, luckily.
It is.
Basically, yeah, it wasn't focused around him, but it focused around NXT talent and sort of their journey and making it. And I think we'll learn quite a lot about him. And I remember coming out of that thinking, I wasn't the biggest fan of Adam Rose, but seeing everything that he was going through with his family and with his child, and the issues there, obviously just wanting to make it in WWE, get that paycheck and people to support his family. It's kind of hard to see, how badly this has now gone and things have took such a bad turn for him. I don't think he can come back from it, though.
No. And yeah, that's the exact same thing. I even remember that we talked about that show on a We Talk, and I was like, a lot of people were bashing just the gimmick at the time, and I was like, well, when you watch this, it gives you a completely different outtake of the reason why he's doing things. And I think his child as well had a few things that weren't quite right, and he talked about the money and doing it for his family, and it's all come to this. So it's it's not a nice place for him obviously to be in. He's already probably at his lowest point with the issues with being suspended already, and I guess this has been a culmination of probably that suspension. So yeah, not good from an Adam Rose perspective, and I very much doubt we will see Adam Rose in a WWE ring again. I don't even know whether we'd see him on an indie scene. Kind of. I don't know. It becomes difficult to become a draw when you have things like... We've seen people like Bram bounce back from things like this outside, so there are opportunities, but it makes things a lot worse.
I think it's possible to come back from it. It all depends on sort of what's
actually happened.
What's actually happened, because we don't know the full story yet. We don't know if what's being said is true, or if there's more to it. I have to wait and see.
Yeah. And it's the only thing that kind of crosses my mind is the timing of it all. It's like, he's going through these issues. It's almost like WWE have preempted all this stuff. Like, maybe there's more than meets the eye. It's like no, I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but it just seems.
What were you going to say? You can't get halfway through and then say, I'm not going to say that.
It was a really naff reference. I was just going to say it's like Transformers. It's clearly
what?
Not.
He's like a robot in disguise.
maybe, I don't know. But you know, the way that I see it is, it's really bizarre that he had all these issues with these doctor's notes. Or his doctor's note, and that he kept posting it on Twitter, and WWE weren't really coming back on anything, and then this has all come out, and it's almost kind of feels like, again, much like it's a different scenario, but it seems like it's the can of worms was there to be opened, and WWE got shot before the can was opened, much like with Hulk Hogan, where it was about the race issue, but then all of a sudden there was so much more to that. There was his trial coming up, he was suing people, and then you start thinking to yourself, did they just get rid because they saw trouble on the horizon and thought this is just going to be a media nightmare, so we need to make sure we just stop this now? Just kind of, it could all be, coincidence, but
I don't see how that can be the case though, because this. Am I right in saying this happened today, the arrest, or yesterday?
It did, but we don't know why he's done what he's done. Could it be this is purely speculation because we know nothing about this scenario, and I just want to make that abundantly clear. But if there was things like, he was talking about prescribed drugs and all sorts of things like that, well, we all know what steroids do to people. So, if there was a whiff of that,
I don't think it would be though. We don't know what kind of drug it is.
No.
But I would think even Adam Rose, regardless of any doctor that you get, no one is going to prescribe you steroids, and you're going to think it's going to be okay with WWE.
Well, at this point, you don't know what was going through his mind, because he seemed to be pretty clear that he wasn't breaking any sort of rules of the wellness policy. So I don't know.
Well, I mentioned the Sharapova situation here, and the changes in laws and different drugs coming in. So it could be something like that. Yes. I think it's an awkward one. It's, if you were Rose, you can understand why he's come out publicly and mentioned the doctor's note and things like that. But I think what you really should have done is kept this behind closed doors. Obviously, you want to kind of save grace and save your public persona and say that you were in the right and it wasn't a case of you were cheating or whatever else. But I think it's something that should have been done behind the scenes, and then if WWE were wrong, then they should have issued a retraction on that. But I don't think it's something that should have been made public in the first place.
Well, the WWE don't like people that kind of speak out, go against the grain. I mean, we've seen it so many times. Just recently, we see the likes of Ryback talking out of term. He got sent home. I don't know if he's actually been suspended as well, but definitely...
But on that note... Cameron, who was released last week, who we're going to speak about, she actually backed up Ryback and says that she likes the fact that he had that courage to actually speak out and not care, what management said and things. But I don't know, maybe that could have resulted in her release.
I'm pretty sure it probably did.
I think it's going to be something that kind of affected that.
That's the trouble. And then you look at someone like we talked about the Titus O'Neil situation a few months back. He just kept his mouth shut, keeps quiet, and then he gets put in some truly horrendous promos. Well, I'm not even sure what they are. What these he looks like some sort of, I don't know what they're doing to him.
I don't know if I've seen them.
It's a punishment. You must have seen these things. He's all smiley and happy, and he's with Nat.
He's always smiley and happy.
He's smiley and happy with Natty, I think, and I'm not sure what it is. I can't even remember, but it's bad. It's bad. Let's put it that way.
I've seen him do not so much wrestling based, but outside of WWE promos, the work that WWE do and things. I think that's all I've seen him on recently.
Well, I've definitely seen something very cheesy. I'm pretty sure it was on the Payback. I think it was on... I don't know. Anyway.
I'm not sure, but I have seen Darren Young with a weird new gimmick. Make Darren Young great again. It's kind of like this whole Donald Trump thing, isn't it?
Well, that's controversial in itself. And
parody of his campaign or something like that.
Oh God! And I think it's going to take a lot more than that to get Darren Young over again. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Got Bob Backlund in there. Maybe he can do it.
So I mean, it seems like anybody that speaks against the grain is getting pulled up at the moment. And in a time where the WWE are looking to get rid of stars, it's probably not the best time to speak out. I mean, I was kind of just on the Ryback situation. I was kind of like, really? Is he going there? Is he going there with the CM Punk stuff when he came out? And then he was, he was like doing the looking at the watch, and I was thinking, oh dear,
Pre-show stopper.
Yeah, the pre-show stopper. And then, like, next thing comes out that he's being outspoken and things are going on behind the scenes. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, was he really meant to do those things? I mean, he's the trouble is with him is, I think I was listening to a little bit of Vince Russo's podcast, and Russo says that, because Ryback thinks that everyone should be paid the same as well, is what I'm taking as
it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
And I get Russo was saying, that he doesn't agree with that, but he can see that Ryback is a trier, and I think he is a trier. I think he really wants to get over with the fans in terms of being a guy that's established. But the trouble is, he just doesn't work. It's been so much bad booking with him that people just don't really connect with him, and he is a bit of a bonehead as well to match. Like, he just doesn't. I watched his matches against Kalisto. I thought he did a very good job, but there's nothing for me to connect with him. Whether he gets rid of his his stomping around the ring, that looks stupid. Then he gets rid of it, but then I still don't think, he's getting better. There's just something with Ryback I just can never connect with. And for him to think that, someone of his stature could then be on equal pay, against someone else higher up in the company, like a John Cena, it's just absolutely crazy. This doesn't make any sense. And it's not about wins or losses, because it's really not. It's not about Ryback just constantly losing and saying, well, because I do think to myself that people that lose matches are important. Brooklyn Brawler was released, but how many guys did the Brooklyn Brawler help over the years get over by being there just to job? They are important, but it also depends on how much you get over with the fans. And when you look at the top tier of the company at the moment, your AJ Styles, or generates a reaction, Ryback doesn't really generate any sort of reaction apart from just, oh God, it's Ryback.
Exactly, and that's where it doesn't make any sense. Yes, you're all doing the same job, but you're doing it at different levels. If you're all working in an office, not everyone's going to be at the same level. You can have people that do different things, get paid more. And I think it's kind of the same thing when you look at WWE. Not everyone's going to be equal in that way. I think it's just a case of, Ryback wants to get over, but he's in a time where the big guy isn't what people want to see. We want to see the likes of AJ Styles, your smaller guys, and that's something that's transitioned. Over the last 10 years, it's been like a big change, maybe even like longer than that when I think of it. And I don't think there is that same place in wrestling for any of these big guys. If you look at Kane, Big Show, all those guys are people that, they get a match, they get put in the main event. And it's like, I don't really want to see that. I want to see faster paced, high flying action. And that's kind of what you expect from WWE now. You don't want to see, these big Goliaths going back and forth. It just doesn't appeal anymore.
Well, it's so funny because it's like almost WWE have finally woken up to the fact that it's not about the size thing anymore. Whereas Vince was always obsessed with having big jacked up guys. Yeah, all right, he's got Roman Reigns as his like number one guy, but around that there's a lot of smaller talent, high flyers, and that's what people want to see. This is another thing that probably is definitely worth sharing with you about Vince Russo's outtake on things, that he doesn't like NXT because he thinks that people just flip and fly all over the place, and he doesn't like it on that basis, that it's like the wrestling to him isn't right, and he's like a traditionalist. He likes all the holds and stuff. But I don't understand why you can just hate on a product because it's that way inclined. People find that entertaining. That is the way that wrestling has gone. It's not always about the holds. It's nice to see the holds and you appreciate the holds, but yeah, everybody likes to see, the likes of AJ Styles fly around the ring. So I kind of I kind of find that some of the old school, like a Vince Russo, is kind of stuck in his ways, and I just kind of think that, that's what we want to see. That's why WWE are signing guys like Nakamura, signing guys like AJ Styles, pushing guys like a Kalisto. If Daniel Bryan was still there today, he'd be in that mix as well. They're the guys that you want to see because they're so unpredictable and they have such a unique offense. That's what we're watching it for. We're not watching it for two giants going face to face. Yeah, sometimes David versus Goliath is good, but it's an old hack thing to do these days because you just got to look at the AJ Styles, Roman Reigns stuff. It's kind of cool because you don't really know who's heel or face at the moment. You're not sure where the next swerve's going to come from. People are excited to see the contrast of styles, but Reigns is not a natural heavyweight, I don't think. He can still move.
Wait, that's the thing. He's someone that is a bigger guy, but I wouldn't class him as a big guy. He's someone that's still able to move around. He's fast. He's agile. He can go over the top rope. That's not what you would get with Ryback. And in regards to Vince Russo, I think that trail of thought, that to me, that's pretty much why WCW went down, because you have to really have an open mind and do what the fans want to see. You kind of give them everything all the time, but someone like Triple H that's open to new ideas, trying new things, that's exactly why NXT's thrived the way that it has, and it's the reason why WWE is now taking on this different approach in this new era since WrestleMania, as you said, getting so much better and being a joy to watch because they're actually embracing that and they're bringing in that change.
Yeah, I just feel it's got much better since WrestleMania, and it was obvious that we were going to get to see releases because you can't keep accumulating stars. And if you think the WWE have spent quite a lot of time picking up talent, and much of it is TNA talent, but you've got the release list, haven't you?
I do. So we've got there was 8 superstars released last week. We had the Brooklyn Brawler. He was mentioned getting released yesterday, I think it was, on Monday. So the 8 main ones that were released last week, we had King Barrett. He went as he didn't agree to a new contract.
Are you that angry
Damien
about it
Sandow? That
was
a big surprise.
I thought you was banging down your hammer there on Barrett there.
I actually pulled out my earphones, so I was like trying to subtly just put them back in.
So like he's doing the hammer.
Yeah, so we had Barrett. He couldn't agree to a new contract. He wanted out of it to do different things. Damien Sandow, that was like a big surprise to me because he's someone that's been really over with the crowd. I don't know if I would say I was surprised he didn't get a good crack at it, but I think he's someone that they could have maybe kept around just because of his connection with the fans. I'd seen Santino Marella, who I think I'm right in saying he'd actually retired last year, but he was still around in some capacity. Cameron, who'd gone back down to NXT, come back up, and I feel she's someone that could have had a better run. I think she should have been given a chance with Team BAD when Sasha left. Hornswoggle, the anonymous GM of Raw, he's now gone.
Thank God.
Well, just think of it, Vince letting go of his illegitimate son. How could he? Alex Riley, another one that went back to NXT. El Torito, I think that one I kind of understand. You have to let him go if you let Hornswoggle go as well, especially with Los Matos.
Really?
Los Matos. You can have another WLC match. Who's you going to take on?
Are you trying to say you just get rid of all the midgets? You can't have one midget, you just get rid of them all.
Well, you've got to have 2. I think the main thing, though, is just Primo and Epico getting repackaged. It kind of stopped him doing anything else that way, so that made sense to me. And then Zeb Coulter as well.
Zeb's a big shock for me. I like Zeb.
It was, but I think with Swagger and they're being reluctant to actually push him, I kind of think that makes sense too. I don't think you'd put him with anyone else, especially after Del Rio didn't work at all. And I kind of expected maybe Swagger to get released along with these.
It's kind of disappointing to see the way that Zeb Coulter left WWE with that really crappy thing he did with Del Rio. Like, he's so much better than that. So I found that one quite annoying. I mean, looking at that list though, you got to be honest. There's not a lot in that list that you'd say, well, I would swap an AJ Styles. I would rather have one of them stay for us signing AJ Styles. That list to me, or for a Nakamura, like I'd rather not have a Nakamura to keep a Damien Sandow. Like but there's been a lot of upcry why Damien Sandow got released. I'm kind of surprised, but when you weigh up what they did, what they perceived to do with Damien Sandow, he was never going to reach the levels that many people thought he could, because the WWE just didn't see that in him. So if he even if they went back on it and they got him to stay, they will never put him at a level that really he could aspire to. They just don't see that in him. They don't seem to get it. They give him gimmicks and then they bottle it at the last minute. So, and the reason why it's such a shock from my point of view is because he was quite prominent over the WrestleMania weekend. Like, we saw him, behind the scenes a lot. He was at the 2K gaming bit. He seemed to be quite one of the faces that they were using to promote a lot of things, and really, really weird that all of a sudden he just got given the chop.
It was. That's why I say, he does a lot of things backstage. So he was someone that I could have seen getting kept around for those kind of things if he wasn't even getting used in the ring. But at the same time, I think maybe it's a blessing in disguise. I think him, Barrett especially, I think those are two people that can go out this, just like Derek Bateman, EC3 did.
Great.
Well, that's what I mean with say that name, and it's like, obviously it brings back everything with NXT and how bad it was compared to how he is in TNA as EC3. So I think it's a great, situation for them to go away, take some time away, reinvent themselves, maybe pick up a new gimmick, do on the indie scenes, TNA, whatever you want to do, and then build that character, come back to WWE and get a second chance.
Well, I just think when you I don't know if many people are watching the TNA product at the moment, and it's weird because I was watching it like religiously before we went to WrestleMania. I came back, I've kind of ducked in and out of it. I really need to sit down and get back on track on it. I don't think you're watching it too much, are you?
It's been a while since I watched it fully. I've been trying to keep up with the sort of highlights on the Impact YouTube channel, because they do a pretty good job of uploading enough of the match for you to kind of get the feel of what's going on. You don't really have to sit through the full show. So I've found them pretty good just to watch. And the main match I did watch in full was the Hardy versus Hardy match a couple of weeks ago. Oh, yeah. And I was really impressed by that. I thought that was a really good match.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, at the moment with TNA is, obviously everyone just goes on about the releases from a TNA side and letting WWE pinch all their guys, but I feel like, for me, TNA, and from what I've been catching as well since I got back from WrestleMania, is like, I'm watching it and I'm thinking, this is really good. The only thing they lack is something that pulls in the old viewers. But, like, if you just put on a show and watch it, like, I watched, do you know what's really weird? I watched, like, this on YouTube. It must have been aired a couple of weeks back. It was like a Knockouts event. And that's as best as I can describe it. And they were all the new knockouts that they'd signed, and they were going up against the current knockouts. And I think it was to try and establish who was good. And I didn't catch the full gist of it, but it was like a breath of fresh air to their knockouts division to have all these new, fresh talent there. And like, people have been moaning that, oh well, their knockouts division isn't any good. Well, they've gone out of their way to go and sign indie talent to try and make it good, to try and make new stars, not go out and sign just anybody, any golden oldie just because of the name. No, they want to go and establish and get stars, like they did with Derek Bateman, where they made him EC3 and now he's established. They keep doing that. They have some real good stars in their hands, and I know I've said that, and I'm now going to go back on it, but I'm thinking, when you look at the way that Bateman has come across, and he's been given the full opportunity to live to his maximum potential, then, why couldn't a Damien Sandow be that guy in TNA? I mean, to me, it's like, at the moment, TNA is going through this stage where they want to reevaluate their roster. They don't want too many people on high pay grades, and they're trying to get lots of talent from like the indie scenes to come in as well. But if you sign a Damien Sandow, it's not like you're signing a Kurt Angle or a Sting, where that gimmick is done. That's that gimmick. You can make Damien Sandow into something legit that WWE could never do. That's what's exciting.
it's kind of a fresh slate now.
Yeah.
And they can go in any direction. They're not stuck with that character. I mean, Barrett doesn't have to go be a king somewhere else. He can refresh himself. So I think both guys, well, all 8, 9 guys and girls, it's so much, so much better for them now to go away, make something for themselves, prove WWE wrong. And if that is the case and they make it, I'm sure there will be a point down the line where WWE say, we dropped the ball on this person. Let's bring them back. See, how it works with this, new look character.
Yeah, I think that the way that TNA are operating at the moment, everyone always keeps bringing out the doom and gloom, but I think the way that they're putting their shows together at the moment is much better than what they've done in a long time, and I also enjoy their product quite a bit at the moment, which is weird, because you think that the amount of talent that's gone to WWE, you should be like thinking, Christ, this is going down the pan. But if you watch the shows, it's really not. It's not. Again, I find too much negative hate straight at the company because of the brand, the name. If you watch these things, I don't know. And then,
that's the thing. You've got to give it a chance. You kind of just
let it go.
You kind of just go off what it was like a couple of years ago and having that bad feeling. Give it a chance. Things change over time. You can't really bash something without trying it out.
I had this debate with someone on Twitter, right? So if this
you arguing on Twitter?
I had
really?
this debate with someone on Twitter, and if someone is actually,
I like how you say debate.
Well, no, he hadn't watched it in quite a while, and then he kind of watched it on and off, but he hasn't really watched it for ages. So all of his gripes with it is like 10 years ago I used to love it, and I used to watch it, and it's like, yeah, but you can't keep living in the past. Things evolve, things change. They haven't got as much money as they used to, but they're doing the best of what they've got, and they actually are trying to change it because they're focusing on new talent, not going to your Hogans of this day and age to do things. And it's like, yeah, but they don't have AJ Styles now. But you know what I mean? You're never going to give them a chance again, because you always go back to, where's AJ Styles? Where's Samoa Joe? Why can't you go there and look at it and think, well, EC3 is your guy now, and they're building the company. They just can't do it. People can't do it. They just have to go back. I get it. I understand why they do act like that, because let's be honest, TNA has dropped the ball so many times over the years. It's hard to forgive them. But, I would say at the moment, this is the best little run that they've had, because a lot of the storylines are consistent. Someone's writing backstage doing well, and they've even made Abyss look alright, and I fucking hate Abyss.
That is some achievement, making Abyss look well after everything that he's gone through.
I know.
He's just had such a downward spiral. Like, the original Abyss.
Great, wasn't it?
Great, but, what you become, Joseph Park, everything else.
No.
It was so bad. They so totally dropped the ball. I think he's a character that it's really hard to bring someone back. It's kind of like Kane.
Well, all they've done is they've paired him up with Rosemary, and the Crazy Steve character was absolute shite when it was in the menagerie. I don't know how we got into TNA so much, but I will wrap this up. But yeah, they and then they've decided to make this group called the Decay, and they're kind of creepy. It does remind me a bit of like the old Dungeon of Doom sort of things like that. And they're off. It's off the wall, but it kind of works. And like giving Abyss, removing that horrible mask that they gave him, that revamped mask. Now he wears face paint.
Ewan masks.
He's still out of shape as fuck. But never mind that. It actually makes me interested in Abyss. So I don't know if they can do that, make me actually like and stand Abyss for a bit. There is hope.
There is. It's not. Maybe it won't be the decay of TNA after all.
No. Well, very clever. But what's your view on all the TNA guys going to the WWE? Because that's what I really wanted to get round to. Because, for years they've always been against bringing in talent that was established and known. They never wanted to give them their original name as well. They'd change the name. And this is a complete 360 from the WWE. And in doing that, it also kind of goes a little bit against their policy of the fact that they wanted to produce homegrown stars, because that was always something that they wanted to use NXT for. Whereas now NXT is a brand in itself. And the easiest way to make people interested in that brand is to bring in guys that are already known. So that's why we've seen Eric Young, Samoa Joe, Bobby Roode potentially as well. Is it a good thing? Or is it a bad thing when you see, the guys like Damian Sandow and people being released?
I think it's an awesome thing. I talked before about Triple H having an open mind and being open to these different things. Bringing in the TNA guys is exactly that. And I think, yes, NXT was originally founded to bring up new talent and create new stars, but you can't do that. 365 days a year, you've got to have some big names in there as well to help make them stars. And I think bringing in the TNA guys that are well established, not only does it give you, the option to put over them guys, but it also makes them a bigger name in the process and makes it people that they want to see, draws a crowd. When we get the likes of Samoa Joe come in, it's cool seeing Joe go up against someone from NXT, but then you get someone like Eric Young come in out of the blue, and it's someone that you mightn't really think too much of, but then, all the histories between them, it adds so much more to it, and I think that brings something different to NXT, and it just means that NXT keeps evolving, and it's not just the same thing constantly getting recycled, where you get new guys come up, another new guy come up, you don't know who he is, you have to kind of get to know that guy. It's always cool just to have someone rock up that you already know who he is, this guy's well established, and you just want to see how they get on in the WWE, and if it's going to be different to what you actually expect from seeing them in TNA, Ring of Honor, or any other organisation.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it's amazing with Joe, really, because when there was a little while where I was a bit worried about Joe, I was like, oh, well, Kevin Owens went straight up, so that feud's not going to happen. Oh, this isn't looking good. And then he kind of got stuck in the middle, and no one really knew what to do with him. But now, after the feud with Balor, he's picked up the belt. It's just, it just goes to show that, you don't... that everyone always thought that they would just bury like the likes of TNA guys that they bring in, but it's really not about that. It's about utilising those assets. So Triple H can see that Samoa Joe is, quite frankly, just a great talent to have. He works the character well. He's a good heel. I'm glad that they book him as a heel as well, because I think he's always been better as that. And yeah, Triple H is open to bringing in these guys to do the jobs for him, and I think it's great. Austin Aries, he's one of my favourite wrestlers. I think it's great to see him there. I'm excited to see Bobby Roode. Eric Young's an interesting one. Not many people were that interested in it, but his character's developed so much over the years in TNA that, he's now really got quite a good heel character, and it's all part of that new era, which gives... And it's nice, because when you bring in that guy, then you can kind of let Finn move away from things. Because if you didn't bring someone in that's a bit of a shock factor, everyone would just be going, oh, where's Finn Balor? Make Finn come back. But you're kind of interested to see what's going on with Eric Young now, because it's like, well, Eric's here, Bobby could be coming soon. What's going to happen next?
Breaking news, Bobby Roode.
Yes.
WWE UK tweeted out a tweet earlier, and it had a picture of Bobby Roode. Basically, they announced that he would be a part of the UK NXT tour. However, within a few moments, they then deleted that tweet. So maybe they jumped the gun in kind of announcing that, but it looks as though a contract may well be in place.
That'd be great. I would love to see Bobby Roode. The only person that really must be really hating everything that's going on at the moment is James Storm.
Absolutely.
Just don't know what to say.
He'll feel well screwed over at the moment. Going back for that beer money and got the money, it's just no beer there.
There's no nothing. It's
flat. It's gone off.
You kind of respect that he went, and because he went for the money decision. But damn, man, he couldn't have envisaged what's gone on. Couldn't have imagined that the likes of Young, Roode, and everyone were just gonna up sticks as he come back. It's just, he said the door was always open, so you never know. It sounds really bad, but sorry about your damn luck.
Well, exactly. That's pretty much how we would sum it up. I bet when he hears that, it's just like, oh man.
Someone said that
every time your music hits, so disappointing.
Someone must have said that joke to him. You'd be mad.
I bet that's one of them jokes where he walks past someone and he can tell they're going to say it. It's like, you say that, and end you.
He can't even reply with sorry, not sorry, because he's blatantly sorry that it's happened.
I think he's got to be, like, seeing Roode and the attention that got, and now if he's set to make his debut, that's going to be huge, and it'll leave him questioning why on earth he didn't do it. What I find strange though is I think this might have been the E60 thing, what we talked about before. But Rude was in the background on that at like the kind of, I don't know what you call them, like seminar type things where you had like Triple H and other people speaking about sort of wrestling, whatever they were learning at the time. He was in the background and he was there taking the classes. So it wasn't just a case of him going in wrestling that one match and that was it. He was actually there, taking courses, learning everything that was to be learned about the business. Why would you walk away from that?
That's why I was so shocked when he did go, because he was so enthralled with it all. He was tweeting about it. It was like he had a new lease of life. And just imagine, we could have either had Rude versus Storm, which would have been epic in the WWE, particularly in NXT, or we could have had Beer Money in NXT. And then you just got to think of the likes of Enzo and Cass and the tag teams that we got going on. Jordan and Gable. Beer Money would have slotted in there nicely as well. It's just...
It'll happen one day. Maybe they'll just buy TNA and then you'll be forced to do it. Forget about this, being loyal to TNA and going back there, whatever he's done. Like, just let WWE buy it and then he doesn't have an option. He doesn't have to worry about,
you can't say that after
being disloyal to Dixie.
You can't say that after I've said give them a chance. You can't start saying they need to be bought out now.
But that would give them a pretty good fighting chance, wouldn't it?
Oh, God. Anyway... I think you catch our drift. I think you catch our drift that we're quite happy with the way that the roster is. Obviously, it's never nice to hear about people being released and losing their jobs, but I still think there's lots of opportunities elsewhere, and you've just got to look around. It's not just TNA. There's New Japan. There's Ring of Honor. Will Ospreay has just gone to New Japan. So there's so many opportunities around at the moment. And just coming over here, Kurt Angle is wrestling in ICW. Did you know that?
I did. I seen that tweeted out the other day.
Awesome.
That was crazy, wasn't it?
What a great signing. What a clever bit of business that is by Mark Dallas.
It is, but what I'll say is Kurt Angle, he doesn't know, he doesn't know how to take a break. Because I'm sure when he left TNA, he wanted to take a break and not wrestle. And then that was his plan to, recuperate, go to WWE. Instead of doing that, he goes to ICW, which is kind of like ECW. It's going to be pretty extreme. It's going to be, a lot from to endure.
I think he's been signed for the big event, the Fear and Loathing events. I think I don't know all the details, but that would be amazing. Kurt Angle would just be phenomenal. But let's move on a little bit. Let's talk about a few other topics. Obviously, we talked a bit about the main event picture with Reigns and AJ, and I've said that I'm quite positive on the whole thing, particularly as well with the whole power struggle which we've seen. It was a bit disappointing at Payback to find out that it was joint ownership. Everyone was expecting things like brand splits to happen. Vince was just a bit of a bellend on the night as well. He was loving sticking it to the Chicago fans just as much as the Chicago fans were loving sticking it to him. But he dragged it out long enough, and we found out in the end that it was going to be some sort of joint partnership between Shane and Steph. And at Payback, it was utilised quite well, that match, to make it clear that it's one-upsmanship by having Shane come out first, make the match continue, Steph come out, made the match continue, and blah, 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 blah. But, I really enjoy all the unpredictability that we're getting at the moment. That, to me, is the main thing. So when everybody was just complaining that Roman Reigns had won, I was just like, not really, because I've loved the fact that, during this match we've had these unpredictable moments. I actually felt that in that match AJ could have won that match. They didn't make it abundantly obvious that Reigns was going to win from the offset. Even though in my head I knew that Reigns would win, I felt like AJ had the...
You just didn't want to believe it, did you?
But did you not feel that as well? Did you not feel that they booked the match in a way that you looked at AJ and you thought he came very, very close to beating him?
Well, I think we all knew that it was going to be a Roman Reigns win. It was just, how did we get to that? And, pretty much everyone said the club were going to turn on AJ and would get Finn Balor as their leader. That didn't happen, but I like the fact it didn't happen because it wasn't predictable. And the way that match played out, yes, it was predictable that Shane was going to come out and make a change and then Steph was going to do exactly the same. But all in all, I thought that was probably the best Roman Reigns match I think I've ever seen. And I think as a whole, it kind of made it. And regardless of the outcome, I was just sat there thinking, this has played out pretty awesome. And I usually hate seeing the Usos. I hate seeing Roman Reigns. And yet, I don't know, it kind of worked together. And with what we've got since then, I'm not going to say I liked it, but I don't mind seeing them acting in that way.
I just kind of think with Reigns, I don't think he gets a lot of respect or props with what he's been doing in the ring. It takes two to tango, and he put on a pretty decent performance at that Payback pay-per-view. And it wasn't just all AJ flying around the ring. Yeah, people can say that AJ makes Reigns look a bit better, but come on. Reigns held his own in that match, and that's what I find a bit frustrating. It's just almost like, well, any opportunity we're just going to shit on Roman Reigns, and it's just like, well, yeah.
It's so fun, though.
Well, yeah, but I kind of think his in-ring stuff is getting better, and I don't think there's too much to complain about when it comes to his in-ring stuff. He works his ass off in those matches just as hard as AJ works. It's just AJ's got that style that makes it look like he flies around the ring a lot more. But I think his in-ring persona and what they're doing with him, with the fact that he's just the guy, and yeah, if he keeps on saying it, people will get annoyed with that soon, but I like that he just doesn't care. He's not face, he's not heel, he's just Roman, and if you don't like it, then lump it. I like his mannerisms. I've always said he didn't need to say too much, he just needs to let his fists and his spears do the talking, and that's the way he is, and that's the champion that you're going to get, an arrogant, cocky champ, and it does split the divide, and I think he's good now. I like it. At least they're being honest and true to what he is. You don't like him, so just boo him, and the WWE are letting Roman stick it to you as well. I think that's good. Not like before, we're just being forced.
Well, that's the thing. I think my main issue is just the same as when Cena was the face of the company. It's when you get someone for such a long time, always main eventing, always being there, always being Raw. It's just, it sounds weird, Raw. Always being Raw. Always being on Raw, always main event Raw, opening segment, long promos. You just get sick of the same person over and over again. And it's not so much Cena, I don't mind him now because he's gone away and we haven't seen him for too much. So when he does come back, it'll be kind of fresh. Whereas Reigns, he hasn't been given that break. Everything's been main event. And we've had it for so long. That's why even now, when it's better, it's still like, yeah, but I want to see someone else get a chance. I think that's my main issue with Reigns. It's not that I dislike him. It's just I'm so sick of seeing the same person in the main event. And if I was to say to you, what do you think about, Samoa Joe and Finn Balor being in the main event of the next takeover? Like, seeing that over and over again, yes, it's good when you first see it, but if you're going to keep seeing the same thing, you do get sick of it over time.
Yeah, but at Payback, it was like you didn't know because you've got this Roman Reigns character that has you just don't know whether he doesn't want to be the face of the WWE in terms of the people's champ sort of thing. But that's what I liked about Payback in the end, because there was elements of me thinking, well, maybe you just side with Anderson and Gallows. Maybe that could happen tonight. He could just, it could all been an elaborate plan, and he's the leader of them guys. There was a lot of cool things that you could think about, because you've got this Roman Reigns that isn't a face, isn't a heel. He's just Roman Reigns. He just, he walks to his own drum. It's just. I think it's good. I really like it. I enjoy it. And that's weird because I fucking hated it going into WrestleMania.
Well, it's like you touched on earlier when you said you had to have that big payoff. And now that I have, it's like things can finally change. And I think that's what we're in the process of seeing. If it was a case of Roman still chasing that belt, everyone would be up in arms. It would be awful, would be so sick of it. But even though it's the same guy, same Roman Reigns, same character, just not as face, it's slightly different, and you can kind of bear it just to see where it goes from here. Yeah,
but the other thing as well, what's cool about it is, although AJ's at the top at the moment, there's so many other people that are chomping at the bit to get get at Reigns, and it's like he is the guy, but he's definitely got a target on his chest, because you could just see people just quickly jumping up. Like, I can see Owens jumping up quickly. If you wanted, you could get Zayn to jump up quickly, and that's what I like. It's like, he's the guy, and he's got, he's open to taking on all challenges. I'm not asking to be the face in any of the matches I have. I just want to take on people, spear them, and beat them. And that's what I like about it. I like it because at some point, that method that he's got is not going to work, and he will lose, and it will be one hell of like a big moment for the WWE, because I see his reign being quite a long one. Roman's reign is going to reign for quite a while, but when that payoff comes for him to lose the belt, let's say it's to like a Finn Balor or someone like that, it's a huge passing of the torch at that point. It's a big deal coming up. That's what they're doing with Reigns. They're making it. It will be important when he loses that belt, I think.
It will be. I think, like you say, it's going to go on for a while. Like,
it's good. That's why it's good. It's consistent.
The forecast is rain. It's going to go on for a long time, I think.
But don't you like a bit more consistency? Don't you like the fact that they've just made this decision now, and they've just thought, fuck it, let's go with it at last, instead of like wishing?
No, I think it's more a case of, this isn't working. We're going to have to reluctantly do this and just see how it plays out, but we won't turn him heel. We'll still keep him in between because we don't want to make him a heel, and just see how that plays out. I don't think they've gone, fuck it, let's make him a heel, let's make him a bad guy, the guy, whatever he wants to call himself. Yeah, I think they've been forced into this. This isn't them doing it. This is just like damage limitation, see if it works, and then afterwards claim, yeah, we had that planned all along. We reeled you in, and you thought we're going one way, but no, we went the opposite way.
What do you think about the chocolate on the biscuit and the club?
I don't know. I think there's better biscuits out there.
I was a bit disappointed with the name, but then again though, isn't this kind of exciting to think about that maybe they've called them the club because there needs to be a Bala inserted in there at some point? Don't you think?
I think so. Like, when I say cool? There's better biscuits out there, I don't mean as a team. I just mean the name itself. I think we could have got a better name, and you mentioned Bulletproof. That would have been perfect just to call them that. But I think the fact that they're going with club, and that we're seeing the Bullet Club at I'm trying to think of the name of the event, Global Wars at Ring of Honor the other day, with a new member, which I don't know if I should say in case anyone hasn't seen it. But the fact that they had the Bullet Club t-shirts, it obviously means that they don't have the rights to use that name on WWE TV. So that's obviously why they're going with the club. And I think, like Wall said, was going to happen at Payback, and Finn Balor was going to come in, be the leader. I think that's still going to happen. And I think that's why the sort of delaying on giving them a proper name. And like you say, it'll just be a case of inserting Balor into this name.
Yeah, and that's why it's exciting again, because there's these. Before it was so predictable, and whereas now it's like, well, you're kind of waiting for Finn to come up, but you don't know when he's going to come up. AJ could get turned on at any second. You've got Reigns there with the championship, the belts in the struggle as well. You don't really know where Anderson and Gallows sit either. I just like it. I just think that it feels a little bit more Attitude Era-ish because there's a lot of unpredictability going on. That's good for me. That makes me a happy wrestling fan. And Extreme Rules will be good. I think it'd be a good.
It will. I think it'd be like a good event, and I think this is the time where they can kind of turn them on AJ, and we'll probably get AJ against Balor going forward, and it gives someone like Kevin Owens or someone else, Sami Zayn. I don't know who you really push into that spot to fill going up against Roman Reigns. I think John Cena would be quite interesting just to see where the crowd lies.
Oh, I don't know. That might put me back into the state of depression. Cena Reigns. I'd be cheering Reigns.
It's going to happen at some point. Well, there you go. It's a mission accomplished in that case, isn't it? Cheering Roman Reigns.
Can't cheer Cena. The one thing I would say as well is we've still got a lot of interest in Shane and Steph because she's bound to turn her back on him at some point, and we haven't seen Triple H in quite some time. So
she seemed quite happy at the end of Raw, though.
Yeah, something tricky.
Smiling fondly at that picture of Vince as Shane walked off. She seemed happy and content.
How could you not be happy at a picture of Vince?
It depends on the picture.
There's so many good pictures of Vince. I was going to say to you, though, you know, there is one person that I really wanted to talk about because I feel that this one superstar who we were critical of at one point on We Talk, saying that he's ruining his legacy, has completely rectified all situations with his current run in the WWE, and I've been hearing rumours that he might be coming to an end, and it is the plant pot smashing Y2J Chris Jericho, because for me Jericho has just made everything so much more enjoyable. Where any segment he's in, he's hilarious, and he's not even trying to be hilarious. He's just downright insulting. On social media, he's backing up all those insults by insulting people's grandmas, insulting anything, calling people idiots. And I just think this version of Jericho that's been created this time has just enhanced anybody he's been in a program with.
It really has.
AJ Styles has stepped up. Ambrose, you know, anytime it's the Jericho Ambrose thing, I'm just interested in I'm more interested, to be honest, with what Jericho's going to do. But he's pushing people. It's even like the interaction this week with Enzo being out, so Cass has got to do something. How good was that segment?
It was really good. I thought Cass would struggle, like being on his own. It
was great,
but he grabbed that opportunity. It was a shame he didn't get the match in the main event. It was all just a ploy to set up this attack from Ambrose. But Jericho, I think he's done an amazing job this time of putting over new talent like your AJ Styles, even Cass on Raw. And he's shown that he doesn't have to waste away his legacy, take all these losses. He can do it the other way. He can still pick up the wins. And that was my only issue last time, that he was getting so many losses. And I think this way, heel Jericho, the character's been so much better. It's so much more entertaining to watch. He's the only person that can get away with insulting someone by calling them a stupid idiot, and you know, it's just been awesome. Like, I've really enjoyed this run from Jericho. Speaking of who I'd want to go up against Reigns, I would put Jericho up there next. Anything
that Jericho's in at the moment is gold. It was like when we went to Raw after WrestleMania, and it was like the Jericho segments were like I would say the Raw after WrestleMania was. We kind of all expected a bit more, but it got great towards the end with your likes of Cesaro coming back. But Jericho, again, just on the night, was just fantastic. Even did you see when he was walking to the back and he knew the cameras weren't on and he just gave everybody the finger?
He did. It was so cool to see.
You know, that's like all the time. He's always thinking of ways to get a rise out of the fans, to generate more heat towards himself, and it's just so simple when it comes to him, and that's why it's just brilliant to watch. And this for me, this run, and it's not just that. His in-ring stuff has been perfect most of the time as well. He doesn't miss a beat, and this is a great example of bringing back a legend and letting him be a legend and not discrediting him. And that's where I kind of wish they'd done the same with RVD when he came back at that point as well. They need to do more of this, because these are the guys that will get them over. And me seeing a segment with Cass and Jericho made me think, there's definitely an opportunity there where Cass could be, you know, a singles competitor, because the way he wiped out Jericho with that big boot as well, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, and you'll remember that segment.
Well, absolutely. I think, to me, Cass is always someone that I would see in a tag team with Enzo. But just seeing that slight moment with Jericho, it was like, you know what, Cass, maybe he could actually work as a single star. I mean, obviously, we've talked about big guys, you know, not being main event. So obviously, he wouldn't be main event. But I think he's going to be a really good single star when they do actually go the separate ways. So I'm interested to see where they go. He's good on the mic as well, and that's not something that you get with every single superstar.
No, it's just the way Jericho, they're like, you know, Cass comes in like kind of all guns blazing, and then Jericho has to slow him down and remind him who he's dealing with here, because he's the best. at what he does, and I just love the bit that he put the hand on the mic. It's like, for fuck's sake, shut up, you know. And I just love that Jericho always pulls it back to, you know, do you not understand who I am, what I've done, and why you? And it's the same. It's always the same thing, but it's so good to listen to. And his run has been epic, and it is sad if the end of his run is coming, because I've heard that he's going to step away for a bit. He even said it, but I think he's trolling everyone.
Wait, I'm sure he come out on Twitter and said something along the words of, you know, thank you WWE, it's been fun, or something like that. And then obviously he was, you know, Raw the day after Payback, and it was like, he's just trolled away again. Everyone thinks he's stepping away. You kind of take anything for granted when Jericho says
it's
something.
Brilliant though, isn't it? I just love going on his Twitter and just seeing him insult people. I mean, that's what you should just do with people that are knobs to you. You just should insult them like he does, because he's just so funny.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it's just so good. just looking at his Twitter and the things that he says. Someone asked him like the question, "What's the hardest thing you've found in WWE?" And his response was something along the lines of dealing with you stupid fans. And it's just like, it's so classic Jericho. It's so cool to see.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's really lame. Like, it is like really lame insults, like, you're an idiot, and it's like, it's just short and sweet. I'm just seeing if I could find any more of him quickly. I just wanted to see.
We're going to do Jericho's tweets now.
We should do Jericho's tweets, because he is the boss of it. A lot of his stuff's all retweets. Don't boo me to it. Oh, hold on. I think I might have found one. So this is a good one. So can I get the chain? Can I get the chain?
What?
Can I get the chain? I wanted to see what the person sent him. I'm not sure what the person sent him, but obviously someone must have approached him in an airport and asked him to sign their action figure. And then he's just...
Did he break it?
And then someone said, I think he obviously didn't sign the action figure. And he's like, here's an idea. Don't boo me and tell me I suck during a WWE show. Then expect me to sign your action figure at the airport the next morning. And he's just being rude to everybody he speaks to. I love it. Love it.
Rude Jericho.
It's great. Great. The best one I think I saw was the one with the grandma.
Not sure I've seen that one.
The one with the grandma it was the best. I can't remember what it was now. Oh, someone asked. Is a good one. What's the most physically painful thing you've endured while wrestling in WWE? Dealing with stupid fans.
Yeah, that's the one I've seen.
What else is it? Oh, here we go. I think I Am Jericho needs to go back to his long tights. He's been irrelevant since he switched to the small trunks. Yeah, I only won the world title 3 times in trunks, you stupid idiot. What's this one? Oh, I don't know. There's too many. Just go and check his Twitter out. He's phenomenal. He is phenomenal.
Be like a show in itself, just reading Jericho's tweets.
It could.
He should do that mean tweets show.
He should. Oh, I don't know. It's great. But yeah, so, I mean... It's weird because we're totally positive about... Well, you're a little bit on the fence with Roman, but I'm very much positive about the product and where it's going at the moment. So, this has been a positive We Talk this week.
Surprisingly, it has, yeah.
Is there anything, before we give you some shameless plugs, is there anything that is getting you down on the WWE product at the moment?
Aside from Roman Reigns,
is there anything that you're not enjoying? Because I mean, we had so much to catch up on this week. We've kind of talked about the big deals, the big topics, and we'll start ducking back in because we're going to get We Talk back on track. But yeah, before we cover the bulk, so anything getting you down?
I feel like I'm in therapy here. Anything getting us down?
Dr. Phil here, Dr. Phil.
I don't know, Dr. Dell.
Dell.
I don't think anything is getting us down. I'm quite happy with this product at the moment. Life is good. Everything is going well. No complaints yet.
See? This is amazing. When did this happen?
It's all down to Shane McMahon. He's changed my life and yours.
Shane McMahon. Yeah, I mean, I've got to say that if it keeps going this way, I can see them, bringing in the fans again and things getting better. So fingers crossed. The future is bright for the WWE, I think.
Future is now.
The future's now. It's the new era, of course.
It is.
So, I mean, that is this week's Retalk in a nutshell. There was a lot to talk about in terms of the WWE releases. We had to obviously cover the main event picture as well. And obviously, I'm going to ask you, Dean Ambrose, actually, before we do close it off, do you think it's going good for Dean Ambrose? Because I've found his feud with Jericho very entertaining. I know I'm a bit bored of the Ambrose Asylum, but...
Whoa, don't stop being negative. No, I thought we were getting to end this on all positives, yeah?
I'm a little bit bored of that, but I like the whole thing with the pot. That was good.
Poor Mitch.
Poor Mitch, yeah.
May rest in peace.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like with Dean Ambrose, the issue isn't during these feuds; it's how it ends and what he does next. Well, I think that's something I kind of have to wait and see, and I'll judge it then. But in terms of how it's going, I think with Jericho, we can't really complain. I think it's going to be good. You always guaranteed a good match anyway, so Ambrose Jericho, I think that'll be pretty awesome.
Yeah, we got to think that hopefully with the looking at AJ that he will move on to bigger and better things once he's finished this promo feud with Jericho. So. We shall see.
AJ?
No, Ambrose.
Ambrose, yes.
Yeah, you got. Did you not hear what I said? I said
you said
no.
AJ when he's finished with Jericho.
I said you got to look.
Pretty sure other people in the comments are going to pick up on that.
You got to see the way it was with with oh god. You got to see the way it was with AJ, the way Jericho was with AJ, and then you'll see where Ambrose goes.
Is that where you went?
That's where I was going.
Ah, right.
Anyway, any shameless...
It'll be good. Oh. It's bound to be.
Are you done?
I'm done. I'm out with you. I'm done.
Any shameless plugs this week?
Well, if you want to check out the Smack Talks channel, unfortunately I won't be live streaming, but plenty of content on there. So sad, isn't it? Sad. We're going to be looking at WWE 2K17, so we've got a few concepts coming out over the next week. Some top 10s. Community Showcase is back again. We've got mods in action. Gone in 60 seconds will be coming up on Sunday. I have been looking at universe mode, but having a few issues with that. And then Regeneration X, lots of content on there. I'm covering The Walking Dead Season 1, which has been an awesome game. Els started Ratchet and Clank and Uncharted 4, although we may have a few issues copyright-wise with them. It's all copyright at the moment. It's very problematic, but make sure to check it out because there's lots going on.
Well, you mentioned universe mode being a problem. It's always a problem. It's one of the biggest banes of people's lives, universe mode. But
seeing the amount of people that pressure you to get out every single week,
under pressure,
that is one of the reasons why I've had to put it off for so long. Lord. But then I see all of those people, let's see, Saturdays are made by watching Saturday night's main event. It makes my Saturday. Yeah. It is the best day of the week just for that.
You mean it makes
credit to Delzinski. This commentary is amazing. The storytelling is amazing. Why
don't
WWE sign this guy?
What the fuck is this? What is this praise that's coming from you?
You know, that's what makes me think I have to try universe mode to see if I can do something as great as SNME. And all these people, that you've inspired, the J-Man, Heel Diggy, so many people.
Becoming a god. Demigod.
You're a god. You're a god.
Wrestling
the
god.
YouTube universe business.
YouTube universe mode god. Should put that.
Just make sure you get it up on time on Saturday, right?
No, otherwise, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, you mean on Sundays? Sunday night main event.
Yes, Sundays.
Sunday night main event. Yeah, I mean, speaking of universe mode, Royal Rumble is coming along. It's coming along. We have a date. We know what date we're aiming for. It's not this weekend, so don't think it's this weekend. I'm clarifying it now. It's not this weekend. We have to make that abundantly clear at least 10 times. But it is not this weekend. It is coming soon, but it's not this weekend. So, we're going to be putting out a few little videos. You may have seen one already, Randy Orton. So, he is going to be in the Royal Rumble match. And there's going to be a few other surprises as well. We worked pretty hard on this one. We've gone for a few different bits as well. We've been reaching out to other people to help us out with a few things. So it's going to be cool. Let's just put it that way. And I'm
really looking forward to seeing it. I cannot
just remember how
imagine
difficult.
how hard
Yes.
it's going to be to put
Yes.
together a Royal Rumble match
Yes.
with all them people in there.
Yes.
So I think whatever you put out, it's going to be an absolute credit to you.
Yes, I'm not saying it like Daniel Bryan because I am excited in terms of yes. I am saying yes repeatedly, yes, because yes, the Royal Rumble match is going to be interesting.
It'll be worth it. I'm sure it will be.
I'm looking forward to actually releasing it, to be honest, because I think it's probably one of the graphically, I think it's one of the best looking ones we've done with all the Roman stuff and the fact it's going to be in Caesar's Palace in terms of Las Vegas. It's all looking nice. So yeah, I'm excited to release that. Also as well, if you guys haven't seen it already, I had a video go up on What Culture. So hello, I'm over there as well. So you can go and check that one out. I'll link it. You should see it. Most people seem to have seen it at the moment. So yeah, that's top 10 on my wish list for WWE 2K17. Plenty of things. I'm sure Smack Talks has got tons of things on his wish list as well.
I have. It may be like a top 100 things as opposed to 10. So much that we want, but will we get it?
Exactly. So yeah, go check that out on the What Culture channel as well. Hopefully there will be some more videos going there, maybe. But it's exciting. It's cool. And we're going to get We Talk back on track. Today is the start of that. We've been sorting out days. We've both been busy with different things, but we are back. Aren't we?
We're back.
Just checking.
I'd gone there, actually.
But we are. See ya. But yeah, so I guess this kind of brings us to the end of this week's We Talk. And are you going to catch us later?
I'll catch you later. Next week. On time.
On time. See, I haven't quite established again which day to release this yet.
Let me know in the comments what day is best to talk wrestling.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I mean, I will no doubt put this up tomorrow, but that will be Thursday. Hello, Thursday.
Hello, Thursday. Hello, the future.
Hello. Right, so yes, this is Smack Talks and Delzinski for We Talk. Welcome back. Signing out.